Sons of former slaves and the sons of may be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day, even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream. My four little children one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today. I have a dream. Years to buy house. Years to buy house. Years to buy house. Years to buy house. I have a dream. I have a dream. So let's be ready. From the province hilltops of New Hampshire, let freedom reign. From the mighty mountains of New York, let freedom reign. From the hiking Alleghenies of Pennsylvania, let freedom reign. From the snow-capped Rockies of Colorado, let freedom reign. From the palatial slopes of California. Not only that, let freedom reign from Stone Mountain of Georgia. Let freedom reign from Lookout Mountain of Tennessee. Let freedom reign from every hill and molehill of Mississippi, from every mountainside. I have a dream. I have a dream. Here's to my house. To my house. Here's to my house. I have a. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, everyone. How is everyone doing this prime Monday morning? Today is Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Hold on, let me turn off my TV. Okay, I am back. Oh, hey Michelle, hey Justine. Yeah, it's raining today. Who I'm gonna tell you, boy. Well, I'm still here. I'm thankful for being here, but now I am gonna complain. I can't stand the cold weather. I can't stand the rain. My body hurts. Well, but one thing is right, to do what is right. I don't know about y'all, but I feel as though Martin Luther King will really be disappointed at the state of Black America, Black families. We had a nice blueprint to follow. We had Martin Luther King Jr.,
And then we had Malcolm X. Can you imagine when Martin Luther King was putting together all of his marches? Like, people, they got out there and they marched. They got holes down, dog stick on them. In today's time, we can't even come together for anything. Because first you got to figure whoever is holding the event or who's ever holding the march, you got to really make sure, is this person really real? Is they hired into it? We all know in both camps there was federal informants. We don't like to show up on time for anything. Half the people wouldn't even show up. So I think Martin Luther King would be so disappointed. I have been protesting for 30 something years. And it's been great. I can only imagine how Martin Luther King felt knowing that he could be killed. But every day he got up and he did the right thing. My MLK message to people is just do the right thing. My heart is deeply saddened today because I don't think we have made any progress. We're more divided. Black people are focused on the wrong things. It doesn't matter what religion you serve, uh, what Democrats are if you're a Democrat, if you're a Republican, neither one of them, they're birds. They are birds. You got the left wing and the right wing, and those feathers are on that bird. Ain't none of them did nothing for us, really. Give us our reparations. We built this country. We built this country. Black people don't even vote. Go look at old footage of people that was marching for us to have the right to vote. See, we have some history. We might not know all the way back for 400 years. We might not know exactly where we come from, but we do have some history, Black people. And even if you wanted to start with Martin Luther King, you can start with him. How dare you say I'm not voting? I shouldn't vote. The blueprint was put out there. We sit up and everything that Martin Luther King Jr. stood for. It's awful. Until we get ourselves together. And even right now, today, you will have our people you've got young kids talking about they don't vote. People are working on jobs now that don't have unions. And oh my God, Lord have mercy. Nonviolence. Whew. Mm, mm, mm. We killing folks every day and we being killed. I suggest for everybody to do your research on Martin Luther King. What he fought for, what he stood for. Because me, you get tired sometimes. You get tired of telling people they should vote. Again, please study Martin Luther King Jr. He did a blueprint of what a man should be. A man that cared about his people, his wife, and 4 children. Yes, Steve, he would be very disgusted. The state of Black America is sad. Martin Luther King said, I believe that unearned truth and unconditional love will have the final word in reality. This is why right temporarily defeated is stronger than evil triumphant. So some of the highlights that Martin Luther King did, they had to march on Washington. He was able to pass the Civil Rights Act. Then he was able to pass the Voting Rights Act. People would rather argue with each other now than to get anything together. You know, Martin Luther King had a direct line to Hoover. Who was the president? Not Larry Hoover. Don't y'all get it twisted now. Oh, wow. Okay. But he was able to call the president and say, what about my people? J. Edgar Hoover was over the FBI. But Martin Luther King was still able to call him in order for our race to succeed and get anywhere. We would all have to come together. We should be able to sit down at a table and say, this is what we want for our community. This is what we want for our children at school. This is what we want. See, how many of you go to your city council meetings or your school board meetings? See, all of this stuff that people are hollering about now, this got passed. They doing this in the schools. Well, you know what? If you went to some school board meetings, you would know. Everything is voted on. Do you know who your precinct committee person is in your community? Do you know who represents your community? We have to hold elected officials accountable. We have to hold people that are in positions to help us. We have to make sure we stay on their necks and make them do what they said that they was going to do. Because, see, that's what Martin Luther King did. They wrote the Constitution, and he made sure you said all rights. Well, black people need rights too. What they called them colored back then. You take YouTube, for instance. People that are doing positive things on YouTube, we don't get views. People that are doing positive things on YouTube do not get a lot of views. But the minute you get on here and you talk about people, you have beef, you have drama, oh man, your channel will blow up. But see, I'm going to remain me. I'm going to remain positive. Even in the midst of knowing that most of these YouTubers are just being on YouTube, saying whatever needs to be saying, wishy-washy, don't stand for nothing, liars. No black person, colored, African American person should be co-signing beef and drama. You're not part of a solution. You're part of the problem. Because as long as you support this, then that's why we're in the situation we're in now. You got to keep your eye on the prize. If you have an agenda that's a good agenda and you want to make your community better, you want to make your life better, you just do what is right. We are distracted, Steve. You are so right. We are distracted by a lot of wrong things. On this MLK Day, Junior Day, which is Martin Luther King Jr. Day, I ask everybody to Google Martin Luther King Jr., find out the history. There was a nice blueprint that Martin Luther King did that we should all try to adhere to. If you see something that is not right in your neighborhood, in your community, you should get the residents of that community to come together and go down to City Hall. If something is not right at your child's school, you can get a petition going and you can go up to that school. So many laws have been put in place that protect other people, other races, where you can't even say their names. That J word, you can't say that name. Isn't it something how a word came out to protect them, but we have been calling spooks monkeys and everything else. Nobody's not complaining about that. Well, it would be nice if we all got together and said, we don't want these words to be used. But again, our people, we rather sit back and talk and do nothing about it. I'm going to drop the link if anybody would like to come up. You know, I look at the state of Black America today. You know, you got folks, my hood, my hood. First of all, it ain't your hood because you don't own nothing on there. Your goal should be to help to help the hood. There are no community centers anymore in the hood. You know, every hood used to have a community center where you had somebody teaching karate. They had Girl Scouts. Uh, they played basketball. They played chess. I mean, like a recreational center. Do we have that in the communities today? No, not for our people. Joshua, you are so right. Too much confusion in the neighborhood. When Trayvon Martin was killed by George Zimmerman, that was another disappointment for Black people. Because first of all, Trayvon Martin was dead. George Zimmerman was told to wait until the police arrived. It should not have even been an argument. You know, they like to throw up, oh, he had been arrested for weed and all this. What does that have to do with him being in an affluent neighborhood, coming home with a pop and some Skittles, and he ended up dead? He couldn't even defend himself, and then even with his trial, he was not there, and we set up and let these people Find this man not guilty. Yes, Martin Luther King would be very disappointed. And the police, oh my goodness. The police, they've gotten worse. Even though they're required to wear body cameras, they don't wear them. Half of them turn them off. But they're so bold now when they approach our people. You get pulled over driving while black. So I do feel as though if Martin Luther King Jr. would be very disappointed in the state of Black America. Like, I did all of this work for what? I got out and I had people to march so you can have your right to vote and you don't vote. You don't hold your elected officials accountable for what they do while they're in office. All we do is sit at home. Well, all y'all do, because I'm very active in my community. Sit at home, complain, 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 talk, 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 but ain't nobody getting up, going to not one city council meeting, one school board meeting. And it's so much money out there for us, for our communities. Do the right thing, everybody. But there is a great blueprint that you can learn from Martin Luther King Jr. Because actually I'm sad today on his day. Just with the state of minds of people who don't vote. Yes, voting is very important. People don't realize when you go vote on the ballot, they got everything on there from bonds to if they're gonna raise taxes to help this school with this. Should we pay $1 more to go to the village to help with this? Everything that's going on in your community is voted on. I ask of everyone today, regardless of your race, if you are not happy with what's going on in your community, I I am asking of you to find out who your councilman is for the district that you live in. I am asking you to find out who your precinct committee person is. I am asking everyone to find that information out. So if you see something you don't like in your community, then you call them. Stop sitting at home complaining. Stop complaining. Something can be done about everything. We've got to come together. Stop being distracted by things that are really, really, not important. Now, we all need some entertainment, you know, but it's sad to see rappers being killed, rappers that can't leave the streets alone. Like, you are, you're worth $10 million living in a gated community, but yet you still want to be involved in that life. It's very sad and disheartening. How some people had the opportunity to help, but they chose to do the wrong things. We have to start holding our community leaders accountable. We have to control, we have to also hold ourselves accountable to I want to thank all of you guys for dropping in this fine Monday morning. It's raining. I'm not feeling all that great. Again, here on YouTube, we have a great community. I want to thank everybody that's doing positive things. I want to thank you. And those that aren't doing positive, I want to thank you too. Because those people are distractions. And the reason I say I want to thank them, because they have shown me that all people like is drama. Nobody supports the people that are doing the right thing. Yeah. So if I had to stay small, and I don't get that many views and all of that. One thing I can say is I do the right thing. I'm not lying to my subscribers. I'm not deceiving people. I'm just trying to do the right thing. Steve, the reason people don't want to listen is because we have gotten so beside ourselves. We sit around, we we sit up and we don't even want anybody talking to our kids nowadays. Some relatives, they don't even want their kids around certain relatives and different things like that. Y'all can miss me with that. You at the end of the day, they still your family. But I don't want them over at their house. They quick to talk about how they live. Long as no illegal activities are going on, nothing, nothing should matter. That's still your family. At the end of the day, it's still your family. Whether they live in the projects or whether they live in a $250,000 home, drive three cars or have three cars because you three cars that they drive. At the end of the day, they're still your family. And people need to stop trying to separate the families even further. Don't let her go over there. She cursed a little bit. At the end of the day, they're still your family. I say to you all today, again, to Google Martin Luther King Jr., Google him, and you can see the blueprint that he laid out. And it was a great blueprint. When I sit there and I look at all of the footage that they're showing, and I see women, men, all getting out there risking their lives for us to vote. And you can't even get people to come together now for nothing. When I look at that footage, I'm thinking, man, those people were brave. They were fighting for me to have the right to vote. They were fighting for me that I can go into a bathroom and it didn't have a sign that said whites only and colors only. Those people were so brave. I mean, they got out there. They had families. Like these people got out there and they had husbands, wives, and kids. And they got out there and they marched for us. And look at us. It's sad. Again, these people got out and marched. People didn't care who was living in one house. If so and so drove the Cadillacs, because they did have Cadillacs back then. They didn't care who wore the same clean clothes every day, but the same clothes, but them clothes was clean. They didn't care about none of that stuff. They got out there and they marched for us. They marched for us. Man, that is just deep. That is so deep how these people got out there for us to have so many rights and we didn't continue the blueprint that was laid out. That is very sad and disheartening. I want to thank everybody for coming in today and spending some time with me, April Showers. I love you all. I'm going to continue to share my shows. I've got to I got to participate in the next live-a-thon. I had the times wrong. I had I had things that I was gonna do and show on that live-a-thon. But hopefully it'll stop raining. It'll stop raining and I can show you guys like my vision board and I want to encourage our little community of YouTubers. Continue to support each other no matter what. Continue to support each other. And as some of us grow, we're going to start looking better on YouTube. I might start showing my face more and get all dialed up for y'all. But still support everybody. Support each other no matter what. We are better together. We are better together. Like I said, I appreciate everybody. Let's continue to keep supporting each other, sharing each other's shows. For those that can do that, again, I want to emphasize to everyone, I don't work. I don't have any grandkids. It's just me. So I am able to go to everybody's shows and share their shows. I do not expect the same in return, only because I'm a realistic and I'm a real woman. I know any YouTuber that's on here, they, first of all, they should be taking care of themselves first. Then they should be taking care of their home. Then YouTube should come. YouTube should not come before your spouse or significant other or your kids. So, thank you all for joining me today. Everyone, have a great day. It's time to do the right thing. Long as you do the right thing in life, put the right thing out here in the universe, so many good things will happen. Everybody, you have a great day, and just think about how you can make the world a better place. Thank you all for joining me.